Kentucky getting another shot at Alabama. The Tide completely rolled them in their first meeting, and if you subscribe to this channel, we hit on that game. Alabama's running away with this conference, man. 8-0, undefeated in the SEC. Alabama versus Kentucky. Let's make a pick. All right, so this line opened up Alabama minus 8.5, and I checked the numbers last night before I went to sleep. Bets came in about dead even, but the money was favoring the Crimson Tide here. I think it was 66% of the money on Alabama around 11 o'clock last night. Woke up this morning around 6 o'clock, checked it again, and even more money had come in on Alabama, but the number had dropped from 8.5 to 8. Very suspicious. I checked, I couldn't find any injury announcements, so I have no explanation of why that dropped a half point. It looks like they're fishing for Alabama money, maybe, but I don't know. So I figured I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. So I'm about to record this video. I figured I'll check one last time. The money's done a complete 180. Money's now favoring Kentucky now. Line has dropped to 7.5. So, I mean, that explains the movement now. The number kept dropping because the books must have known or got a tip that a lot of people were favoring Kentucky in this one. So now we're at Alabama minus 7.5. That's where we're sitting. So how do these teams match up on the court? Well, Kentucky might be the worst offensive team in the entire SEC. And I know right now you're thinking, what, Kentucky? That can't be. Kentucky's not the worst offensive team in the SEC. Nah, for real. They're dead last in the conference in field goal percentage and three-point percentage. They're really struggling to score this whole season, and especially right now. Combine that with Alabama's defense and tempo, this is not the best situation for the Wildcats here. So by now, we've all watched Alabama play. We all know what they're about. High energy, fast pace. No one's scared to launch the three. They lead the SEC in three-point shooting. There's a couple times where I was watching an Alabama game and I was like, I felt like I was watching a 6-minute straight fast break. The ball never stops moving. No, they never stop running. Here's the thing though, Kentucky's defense is not the best matchup for the Crimson Tide here. Kentucky's, as bad as their offense is, they do play good defense. They're big, they're athletic and physical. They could test a lot of shots. They could force Alabama into some turnovers, into some bad shots. So as good as Alabama's defense matches up with Kentucky's offense, same thing could be said on the other side. Maybe not quite as strong, but the same thing could be said for the other when Alabama has the ball as well. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us we need to bet the under, right? So I go check the total. It opened at 145, but the entire world collectively have come together and bet the over in this game. It opened at 145, has moved to 148, and people are still betting the over. So you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm fading the public. I'm taking the under at 148. And as far as the pick, I'm gonna side with the Crimson Tide here. I don't care about all that sharp money that came in on Kentucky. Alabama's just covering spreads at such a high rate. This year, they're 11-5 against the spread this year. That's unbelievable. And from what I've seen from Alabama this year, I've watched several Alabama games. They're gonna score on whoever they're playing, even if it's a Kentucky defense. Give me Alabama minus 7.5, lock it in. If anything changes, I'll tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story. So if you're gonna follow me on this pick, make sure you check those two platforms to see that nothing's changed.